What did you learn from your dad that stayed with you for your career and that's been an anchor point for your career?
To smile through everything. My dad was extremely sensitive, but he was also like my biggest champion. The one thing that I learned with from him was the hustle. He always taught me that don't be afraid of the failure. What you do next after failure is what will define you. Everyone fails. It's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to me. It's going to happen to everyone. Instead of sitting on your hands and saying, I can't do it again, find the courage inside of you and saying, what can I do differently? How do you look back into your mistake and say, all right, that was a mistake. Great. Not doing that again. That's something I really learned from my dad.
Yeah, and that whole thing about you being magnetic, this is a part of it, that you smile through everything. So the other thing I really want to know from you is, in like people with generally with the Indian youth, there's these huge mental health issues that are going around because of social media and things like that. So through your career, have you had any mental health issues which you've just hidden by smiling through it?
I think so. I think each one of us has. I don't know because I never went to a therapist. I kind of therapized myself.
Because you didn't need one.
No, I tried it. I tried it a couple of times. There were phases in my life, especially after my dad. I didn't know how to deal with my emotions. I was in a new country. I didn't know people. I was walking into meetings where people didn't know me. I was reintroducing myself at the age of 31, 32 after I had conquered another industry in India. So, all of those things added a lot of pressures on me, when you're starting all over again in another country where a culture is different, everything was different, and I was alone. So it took a big toll on me at that point, and I don't know if I can clinically say I was depressed or not, but I really felt like I was. I tried to go to therapists, but because I didn't have the consistency of time, I didn't follow through. So I kind of logified with myself. I'm someone who talks to myself, and I think about things, whether it's in my dreams or whether it's when I'm awake. I talk to myself about how I'm feeling and how I can overcome it.
What did you tell yourself that got you out of your difficult times?
I told myself to allow myself to feel it.
To accept it.
To accept it. I think you have to reach a place of acceptance of the fact that it's okay to feel that way instead of beating yourself up about it.
Did you also keep your mind busy with work?
For a while, I did. And that was not the best decision. It was me running away from my issues, whereas I realized that especially when you have something that you're mentally feeling like you can't move on from, you have to find support. You have to find someone you can rely on. I relied a lot on my friends at that point. I chose, instead of being alone and dealing with it alone, I would go out, seek out people that actually care about me. And I think a lot of kids don't do that. Because of stuff we read and people's opinions that we read online, and trust me, no one has more opinions about about someone as they do about me. I get so many opinions from people, good, bad, ugly, and I could very easily succumb under the pressure of it. But I feel like social media can be good and can be evil. If you focus on the good, the idea of social media was to get people together. It was never to make people feel like they are
Targeted.
they're targets. Exactly. So I think instead of focusing on the negativity and taking the pressure off, it's important, if you're feeling down, dark, deep, to not keep it to yourself, to not be alone. It's very important to find someone that you can talk to, even if they can't help you. It doesn't have to be a therapist. It could be your mom, it could be your friend, it could be someone, but don't do it alone.
That's your biggest advice.
Yes.
Find support from
Find
someone.
support, because a lot of kids end up like taking their lives, end up getting into deep dark places because they think they have to solve it themselves. You don't have to.